Hello, welcome back to another longer form video. I'm the Concrete Yogi, Dominic Napa, and I'm so grateful for all of you watching, sharing, and really being more involved with the YouTube channel now that I've started this back up. Just before we get into the topic, if you find yourself enjoying this video at all, you find it informative or entertaining at all, please drop a like. And if you'd like to see more, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get all the new videos when they come out. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me out so much when you do. Okay, right into the topic now. Let's go. So today's topic is one of these things that I really consider a necessary understanding, a necessary truth for anyone that's attempting to practice yoga or even seek the yogic path or the spiritual path of any kind. And this has to do with our standpoint, where we stand in our perspective, where we see our perception from. I always say that this is something that is a little bit unpopular. I have to kind of start with that. I have to give that disclaimer that yes, this isn't the most popular opinion out there or popular perspective out there right now, but this is based in years of study and devotion to the science of yoga, to the sacred science of yoga. So it's not just me throwing stuff out there, but this is very, very true. And that truth that I want to talk about today is that your body can't do the yoga that is described in the texts. Okay, the word yoga does have a more simplistic meaning. It has a simplistic translation that means unity or union. So we have this union with our body already. We have this union with this body interacting with the outside world already, and that is called the yoga of avidya. We are yoked to avidya, which means ignorance. And we don't know what the true standpoint, what the true self is. Everything that we have as our understanding of the self from our birth throughout this life is based in our interaction through our senses. And the senses are then calculated and processed by the mind, remembered by the memory. All these things that are within us are very subtle components that make up our standpoint, our perception. So when we talk about yoga, we're not talking about the yoking of that ego's perception, the claimed perception. Okay, we're talking about the yoga of the highest standpoint, of the self, the soul. So when I tell people that their body can't do the yoga, sometimes I've been met with, ears perking up and lots of questions, and other times I get the blank stare and the nods, and I can tell that it's not something that person wants to hear. They consider themselves, they've been doing yoga for years. They've been going to yoga classes for years. They do yoga. To them, they've been doing yoga. But when we learn about Ashtanga, the 8-limb path, when we learn about the teachings of the ancient texts, the saints and sages that aren't that old, the teachings aren't in other languages. They're not super old. It can be found. And if the original scripture was in an ancient language, naming Sanskrit, then the commentaries are there, the translations are there, so that we can approach and seek that knowledge out. So seek. So seek. If you're one of these people that think that you've been doing yoga, and you heard me say that, and it didn't really feel that right because I have been doing yoga, well, seek out why that might not be the truth. Seek out why ego makes you feel that way, because what this ends up doing, if we think that the body is doing yoga, okay, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The goal of yoga is moksha, okay, freedom, absolute freedom from the binds of avidya, not knowing the self, all right? But if we consider the body as the self, and we consider that body as been doing yoga, then we're actually moving in the opposite direction. And we're actually perpetuating this thing called the wheel of karma, and we are guaranteeing that we will be stuck on that wheel like a little hamster. So break out. Seek the freedom. Don't let your ego and the societal ego be the one to instruct you or tell you what you've been doing or teach you of the ancient scriptures and the ancient path that's been there for thousands of years. Think for yourself. Ask the questions on your own. Get the books. Seek the knowledge. Seek definitions. These things all have definitions. All these words that we might hear, chakra, yoga, ashtanga, everything has a definition. So it's not just another language that we can't understand. It just has to be sought. The understanding has to be sought. It's not a question of if the person wants to, because that is egotistically derived. But if the ego wants to be defeated, the knowledge has to be sought. As my teacher, Swamiji Nikolananda Saraswati says, it's better to understand and not practice than to practice without understanding. So we've got to seek out the understanding. If we're going to be hoping to practice yoga, if we're going to be hoping to reach for those highest attainments, then we're going to have to seek the understanding. Let's give an example. Let's say I want to make a cake, but I've never seen a cake. I've never eaten cake. I've never tasted cake. I've never smelled cake. I've never seen a picture of cake. Nothing. I have no way to understand cake. But someone started describing it to me, and I found that it sounds really delicious, so I would like to make a cake. I get into the kitchen. I don't know how to use the oven. I don't know how to use the spatula. I don't know how to use anything. But someone walks in, and right when you're about to open the cookbook, you're about to look for the knowledge on your own on how to make the cake, someone walks in, they hand you a bowl of sugar, and tell you, that's cake right there. Enjoy. Enjoy that cake. Take a couple scoops. It's really sweet. It stimulates your flavor buds, and ooh, boy, taste buds are really enjoying this. So that person that described a sweet and delicious treat and said that was cake, I can't say this isn't cake. It makes me feel nice. But then one day you experience what a real cake is, and it's like, wow, oh my goodness, all these years I've been eating sugar and calling it cake. The next time you want cake, you don't reach for sugar. You don't pour yourself a bowl of sugar, a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of sugar. You try to make a cake. The first cake you make might be very bad. It might be inedible. But you try again. You're not going to stop trying and just all of a sudden decide, I'll just stick with my sugar as my cake. No, you'd like cake. In the same way, once we find out what yoga really is, that it's not just the bowl of sugar, but it's glorious like a cake, we're not going to stop. We're not going to say, oh, I'll just go back to doing my exercise and calling it yoga. We can't unlearn once we learn the truth. We can't go back into the darkness once the light is turned on. We'd have to cover our eyes, we'd have to bury our head in the sand, and for those seeking, that's not an option. Why do I bring this information? Why am I teaching these things, and why is it so important to me? Well, it's because I was one of the ones that didn't know. I was one of the ones that suffered daily with mental strife and struggle, depression, anxiety, stress, worry, fears, all of these negative emotions, and I didn't know that this sacred science called yoga would be something that could help me or save me. I was being told it was stretching. I was being told it was exercise, and you could find really good classes back then if you got a VHS of Richard Simmons teaching it. Which is very strange to me that an ancient and sacred practice that came from thousands of years ago had become stretching. I didn't know any better. I didn't ask any questions. I was a construction worker. Who cares? I just will probably never try it for myself. But it was the practice of the exercise that brought me to yoga. It saved me. A meditative experience, an hour-long yoga lesson saved me. But I wasn't doing warriors. I wasn't doing handstands. I was laying perfectly still in Shavasana. Laying like a corpse. That's what Shavasana means, the corpse. So it's so important to me because I feel like there's still so many out there that aren't getting the information that they would need to approach the practice. And even if they approach the practice thinking it would be something that they need, and they walk in and they find that it's just another exercise class, it doesn't have the impact. It doesn't have that soul or life-saving impact or benefit. It's too watered down. In my first couple years of teaching, I might have known these things, but I wasn't willing to share them. I wasn't ready to share them, and I definitely didn't feel confident enough in my own knowledge, so I have been digging. I have been studying. I have not stopped. And more, I feel like it's becoming time to speak up a little bit more. I might not have the platform. I might not have the school and the following around the country or multiple schools like other people may, but somebody has to speak up for this practice. Otherwise, the benefits are going to be lost for every other person going forward. So I push the knowledge. I push to seek the knowledge on your own. Don't come to me. Don't listen to me. Just give some dogmatic instruction. Do this, do that, and believe this, believe that. No. That will never be the yogic teaching style. We want logic. We want reason. We want these truths to reveal themselves through the study of the text, through the practice, and the implementation of that understanding into the practice. Take it to the mat. Take it to the mat. Bring the understanding that you gather and take it to the mat and watch that experience. Watch that hour. Because I can tell you that once I had that Shavasana for that hour, every other subsequent class had that importance. And that's what we're missing. So, to summarize, your body can't do yoga, but your soul has been seeking yoga since beginningless time. And just you watching this video, you're getting closer. Just you watching this, just you hearing about the truths of the practice, excuse me, is bringing you closer. Is bringing you step by step, slowly and steadily closer. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with a snap. It's going to be a grind. It's a path. It's not a destination. It's a path. It's a practice. It's dharma. So study. Seek the knowledge. You don't have to study in the library till 2 o'clock in the morning, surrounded by texts. No. But if you're a practitioner of yoga, ask questions. Ask the questions of the teacher before or after the class. Ask what books you should be led towards, what guidance you could receive. And if you're a teacher of the practice, you got to know your stuff, because there might be someone that asks. And that answer you give could be the difference of them setting their feet firmly on the path for the rest of their days, or them avoiding the practice because they are told it's something that it's not. I really like these. I'm going to be sharing so many of these longer form videos as time progresses, but you see the shorts are fun, they're easy, the word of the day is nice. But let me know in the comments below, guys. Keep me informed on what you'd like to learn, what you'd like to cover, what the longer form videos mean to you, and what you would like to attain out of watching these. Also, in the comments below, if you guys want any words of the day, and you just want to hear another word of the day, and you have a question about a specific word, leave it in the comments below. I'll be sure to get to it. I can't express my gratitude through this screen, even in person. I don't know how to. I'm just so grateful for this path and that you took the time to stick it out and watch to the end. If you did find yourself enjoying it, again, please drop a like, subscribe. It would help me out so much. You are loved. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. See you in the next one.